Well, this morning at 8:30, we got some bad news. The wholesale inflation, which is the producer price index, rose by 0.9%. That is the biggest rise in 3 years. And with that news from 8:30 to 9:30, this is what nearly every single stock did. Just down. Just a sea of red when you looked at the heat map of the S&P 500. My stocks are down, your stocks are down, our stocks are down. Almost every single stock. It was just a bloodbath. And with all that red, we kept our cool anyway because we're on the right path. We're on the path to success. We are closer to investors than we are to day traders. Day traders, if they start to lose money, they'll sell out of that stock and they'll take losses. We're not going to take losses because we are in this for the long haul. And if you're watching my videos and if you're following me and you choose to make some of the trades that I'm making, then you know when we sell at a profit. Hello today, and we are back at it. Today we have price action moving up. We're going to go ahead and zoom in here. 2 days ago on Tuesday, we had the CPI report, which was a great report. But today, the PPI was not a good report at all. It was actually pretty bad. The report was significantly worse on all metrics than what was anticipated. So the report came out at 8:30. Once that came out, prices just started falling. So we closed here around 644.86, and we opened today at 9:30 at 642. So it dropped substantially. I was preparing emotionally for a continual, just all day long going down, but price turned around. We've been moving back up, which is just another example of you can't really predict the market based on information that's either given or reported or expected. We have price moving up even though the PPI inflation or the price index report was absolutely horrible. So we'll just go ahead and expand this back out. See the first chart. Now we're going to look and see what we have to sell. We're going to both look at today's alerts and past alerts. Okay, so we'll take a look at Constellation Energy. That we have a price trigger on that to sell. So the price alert was yesterday, falling through both averages, the fast and the slow moving average here. We have a price continuation down where the price opened up much lower than the close of yesterday. However, with the price action of today on today's candle, price did reach right around 333.92, but it's dropped and fallen back down. We're looking at roughly a $3 drop. We also have the MACD indicators are both in a downward trend. And if we look at our earnings, we'll see that we went down roughly 37 cents from the estimate. So that's not the greatest of news. A 37 cent price less than what was expected by the analysts. So that's not really ever good news for the investors in the stock. So with these three pieces of information, both, what was that? That was J&J selling on my day trading activities. So back to the information, we have price crossed over both averages. We have price opened lower, we have MACD trending down, and we have earnings reports that were less than desirable. We will go ahead and sell one share. I max out at 4. Each book is one share. So we're just going to go to 1, selling at 328.74. And there we go. That's taken. And I got, let's see, where is Constellation Energy? The share that I just sold, we bought at $3.15. So we're looking at roughly a $13 rounded in profit on that sale. All right, we have another stock, Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM. What do we have today? We have a price trigger that fell through both averages. If we zoom in here, we have a slight cross from yesterday. We do not have a continuation of increasing price, but we do have price going up after opening up roughly $3 lower than yesterday's close. I currently have 4 shares, which is 2 books of 2 shares each. So we don't have a great deal of volume here. We don't have a lot of volume here. We have a slightly downward trend of the indicators on the MACD, slight downward on the RSI. But because we have a cross here and it's Taiwan Semiconductor, part of the semiconductor industry that makes all the chips, you know, they own over 60% of the market of the manufacturing of chips. Now, if we look back 2 days, we just purchased 2 shares of TSM right here at 243. We had a price cross. First, we were down. We had a price cross up. We did not have continuation of price moving upward. We had a price continuation upward. However, price was lower than the day before. And today, we actually had what I would consider continuation of this particular cross. We had price higher than the close of this particular day, so we bought. So what I will do, I will place a sell order for one of the shares. So we'll come in, we'll find our Taiwan Semiconductor in our watch list. Right click, sell. We're going to sell one. And our price is going to be, the way I discover my price is I take the first digit, we're in the hundreds place, and 10% of 200 is 20. So that'll be 20 cents added to the 243.41. So 243.61 is the price. We're only selling one. And we're going to just click in here. We're keeping in a limit order. We've got good till cancel, confirm, and send. So there's our price order for one of the shares in case we have a spike up prior to it continuing down if it does. So those are the only 2 triggers that we had. Now I'm going to look back at yesterday and the previous day's alerts that we chose not to sell. So we're going to be looking at McDonald's. So we had a price trigger down. We had an alert 2 days ago. Then we had it go back up. Now we have continuation of yesterday's price. So we're going to cancel this sell order. And this sell order was placed because we actually had a cross here, and this was the continuation. However, we have reversed price action, and once we have fast moving average above our slow moving average, I cancel any sell orders that I might have sitting there. And next on the list is an ETF, XLU, and that's an ETF for utilities. So we have price action moved below our fast moving average. We'll wait till tomorrow, see if we have continuation. For now, we'll move on to the next stock on the list, which is Monster Energy Drinks. And what we're doing with Monster, if you watched yesterday's video, we're just waiting to see if price drops further than it has, because we don't want to lose the $3 gain that we're currently sitting at on our shares that we purchased back here. This was our earnings. We had previously sold 2, which means, 2 books. We have 2 books remaining, and that's 3 shares per book. So we have 6 shares. So if we have price drop below this low point of 63.15 tomorrow, we'll go ahead and sell one of the books. So between the 2 alerts that we had and the 3 stocks that we looked back on from previous days of inaction, we are finished with our sell list. Man, what a turnaround. It might have been red from 8:30 to 9:30, but most of the day, at least for my stocks, most of them just turned right back around, and the S&P actually almost ended up at an all-time high today. With as many stocks that were going down in the market today, I was prepared that we wouldn't have any stocks hit their buy triggers today. I was prepared not to have any stocks to buy at all. There definitely were some people who lost some money today. I'd love to help them. Please hit those buttons. All right, on our buy list, the first one we're going to look at is Delta Airlines. That's DAL. So you see, we have a clear cross in price. We have price action moving up and being confirmed. Our fast moving average crossed yesterday. We call it yesterday. It was after this candle. So we had a clear cross yesterday across the slow moving average. We do have price confirmation. It's still high, but it is lower than the close of yesterday. So that's not a hard and true continuation. If it was, I still would probably hold off on buying it because it's an airline. And even though the airline travel numbers are higher this year, they're up over year, I believe. It is somewhat seasonal. School is starting back up, which means there's less travel. People have just traveled for their summer vacations and summer breaks. And the next opportunity for families to travel for holidays is the actual holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, but mainly Thanksgiving and Christmas. And that's in the fourth quarter, and those won't be reported. Those numbers, if they have whatever their profits may or may not be, won't be reported until the first quarter of 2026. So I probably would hold off, but we're definitely holding off because price is lower than the close of yesterday. So our next stock we're going to look at is IWM. As an ETF for the Russell 2000. So I currently have 3 shares of the IWM. And that would be 3 books right now of 1 each. So if we were to purchase today, we would max out our books with 4 shares total. So just like with Delta Airlines, we have a cross yesterday. We have confirmation of today. Price is still above the fast-moving average, but it's not the confirmation we're looking for. We don't have a continuation of price higher than the close of yesterday. And just like Delta Airlines, I'm not going to purchase it, even though we do have, it's a questionable confirmation. It's not a hard confirmation. Price is still trending down, so we are not going to purchase that. Also based on that, this is the Russell 2000, which is 2,000 small cap companies, and many companies in here, they're considered zombies. They don't make money. They run at a loss. And also, quite a few of these small cap companies typically don't perform well if the economy takes a downturn. And that is what the experts are threatening. Of course, they've been threatening a major downturn for 2.5 years now, going on almost 3 years. So we'll wait till tomorrow. We'll see what price action does. If price action moves back up and actually goes up, we will have a real confirmation, and then we'll more than likely buy that. Next on the stock is Netflix, NFLX. Okay, so this one's going to be an easy one. We're buying Netflix. It is an amazing company. It's number one in the industry. We had a clear cross 2 days ago. However, we had price going down yesterday, but we have a clear return of everything that it lost yesterday. So that's strong momentum, and that wasn't even on a great deal of volume. So we had a lot of price action on low volume, even though we have indicators on the MACD below our histogram. It's quite possible and likely that this will just continue up. Both retail investors and institutions, large banks, love Netflix. So this is definitely a clear indicator, and people will start piling in, and we're going to be one of them. So we're definitely going to be buying 1 share. Actually, I'm going to buy 2 shares. I don't have a rule set yet for the overall number of purchases when stocks are priced very high, because this is definitely substantially over the 0.5% that is my base for purchasing stocks. So what my base is from my portfolio value. Well, usually my math calculation is 0.5% is the base of the overall purchase of the shares that I stock, or the shares that I purchase for that particular equity. So even though we are higher than, significantly higher than my base price, I'm going to purchase 2 shares. I'm hopeful that we're at the beginning of another run, no matter how long that run might be. So we're purchasing 2 at $12.41, hopefully. Nope. We're going to try $12.41.10. And there we go. We've got that. So there are 2 shares of Netflix at 1241.10. Now, if you are following me, this is a good stock and it might be a good opportunity to possibly follow me if you choose. If you don't have enough money, you can always use fractional shares. And yesterday I misstated. I called it. I was just happened to be on a Goldman Sachs, and I was reading that at the same time when I said I use Schwab slices, and I misstated myself. When I was talking about Schwab slices, I was reading and talking at the same time, and I said Goldman Sachs. If you wanted to use Schwab slices at Goldman Sachs, but Charles Schwab is the broker that I use, and if you were using them to purchase fractional shares, you'd go into your online broker page and you would look for Schwab slices to then purchase fractional shares, and the minimum purchase for fractional shares is $5. That's all you need to purchase and to be partial owner of Netflix is $5. So if you have been considering following me, we'll go back to the Netflix, because you've noticed that I'm profitable and I'm making some good trades and I'm making money, and you want to be part of that, then you can absolutely make these same trades using fractional shares. So moving on, another one I'm going to look at, it is Uber. Taking a look at Uber. Well, that didn't go. We'll try this again. UBER. There we go. All right, we have a clear cross. We had a clear cross 2 days ago. We did not have a continuation or confirmation. Price moved down. We do have a confirmation in price because we're moving upwards, and we are still above the fast moving average, which is this line here. Now it is it's not a strong continuation because we're not above our closing price on the day that it crossed, but we are moving upward. We have indicators right at the midline of the histogram, and they're in an upward trend. But as I said earlier, when we were looking at Delta Airlines, we have schools starting up. That's not just K through 12, that's colleges. So when kids are home over the summer from college at their parents, they either have their own vehicle, and those that don't, they might be using their parents' vehicle to go, or their friend's vehicle. But Uber gets quite a bit more traffic, a little bit more consumers during school season when school is in. So they should see a significant increase in their ridership, which means they're going to have more revenues, and they have since in the last year become quite profitable, and that is what we want as investors. So we will be purchasing our full book. Right now we have none, and we're going to purchase 8 shares, so that's 4 books of 2. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8 at 91.52, or not. I'll try 91.55. Or not. We'll try one more time at 9. We'll just try market by 8 at market price, which is 91.53. Okay, so there is, I think, one more we'll look at, and that is Lam Research, LRCX. Okay, we had a cross several days ago. Now, I've been hesitant to buy because we are currently, price is currently lower than the 1 month moving average. So we'll take a look at the 1 month chart. Well, I stand corrected. We have price moved above today. For the first time in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First time in 6 months, we have price moving above. So we can get rid of, we're going to remove that drawing because our price has crossed above the slow moving average. We're going to go back to our 3 month and 1 day chart. So that last chart, each candle aggregated on a month, and these candles aggregate every day. So this is 1 day. Now, because Lam Research is part of the semiconductor industry, they supply equipment and wafers for chip manufacturers. I would love to have 40 shares, but I only have $1,600. We're looking at $100. We're just going to round that down. It's going to be a little over $1,000. So we're only going to purchase 10. So if I were to be maxed out at 40, that would be 10 shares per book. So we're just going to purchase 10 at the current price at $107 and hopefully 12 cents, which we got. And where did that take us down to? We now have only $624. Now these 10 shares I've been holding since February, since before Donald Trump's Liberation Day announcement of tariffs, and where that's at $112. So we rode that all the way down from Liberation Day, and we've been on this incline here. I did not purchase back here when it crossed because I try not to buy stocks when price on the monthly chart is below the slow moving average. I pretty much stick to that rule. It's not 100%, probably about 80% I stick to that rule. Even in this case with a semiconductor company. Now I found through my chart research that it more frequently indicates prices will stay below that line, or it'll take a while to break through. So I choose to just simply wait for the cross. Well, that is everything for today. Let's go ahead and check out our watch lists. So we sold Constellation Energy, and we bought Uber, Netflix, and Lam Research, LRCX. If my videos are helpful and have been helpful, please let me know. That would be extremely exciting to hear from somebody that's having a positive reaction to the videos and possibly a positive reaction to maybe purchasing some stocks and being excited for the moment in which we are able to sell them at a profit. So we're going to go back, reset to SPY, take a look and see how that's performing right now. So it's still in an upward trend. We're even close to the point of which we closed yesterday. We might even be past that. So we'll come over here. So we've got this upper bar here has a great deal of information. So if you're new to trading, and if you happen to have Thinkorswim but you don't know everything about it, we've got our date. This box here is the price at which the open for the day. So far, this is the highest that price has reached for the day. L would be the lowest that the price reached. C would be close. We haven't closed for the day, so this doesn't apply. The range is how much price moved. So from its highest point to its lowest point, right now the range is $4.23. And Y is the Y axis. It's what this horizontal crossbar, the price that it's actually sitting on. So if we look at yesterday's close, we closed at 644.89 and we're currently at 644.49. So we only have 40 more cents to be back to good. And considering the PPI report for the day, which was absolutely horrible, this is amazing. I've been doing this since October 2022, and whenever the reports are good, the majority of the time price moves up, but there have been times when price just moved down for the whole day. And when the PPI, same thing, just as the CPI, when that being reported and it's reported as bad, typically price moves down, but if you make a bet on it, you can lose your tail. So I just wait for price action to dictate to me on what I should do. And with that, I look forward to making profits, and hopefully I'm making profits with you. We'll now take a look at our realized activities for the day. Today we have a little over $156 in realized gains, and our portfolio performance is 16.91% year to date compared to the S&P 500 at 10.81%. So we are 6.1% better performance than the S&P 500. Looking at the charts, if you notice back here around mid-February, mid to late February, this was when Trump announced Liberation Day and announced the tariffs. And back then, I was buying and selling stocks on a different system, different metrics, different parameters. and those parameters did not, they were preventing me from selling out sooner. So when prices did fall, we fell at a greater rate because we have higher concentration, but at no point did we actually fall below the S&P 500. We always outperformed the S&P 500. And shortly after the rebound, well, actually during the fall, I realized I had to come up with another system of buying and selling stocks. I mean, this system was working. I was profitable. The problem is when we do have a downturn, I don't want to fall all the way down to the same level as the S&P 500. We want to sell out sooner, therefore protecting our assets and our portfolio. So the next time we have a rise in S&P 500 values and valuations of individual stocks, that we will already have a head start. So when at some distant point in the future, we'll be even further apart. So I'm looking forward to the next downturn to see how my new strategy plays out. I'm hoping that it'll play out better than it did at this point in time. But keep in mind, this isn't a get rich quick. This is increasing and growing our wealth over years and decades. So as you can see in both examples of systems, you can see I was outperforming the S&P 500 as long as the S&P 500 was going up. So please realize and please keep in mind, I am not an expert, but I am providing my recordings of my trading activities, so you could choose to follow them if you do. See and realize that I am being profitable. So we'll close out of here, and we can see that the S&P 500 is actually closed higher than the close yesterday. Our close today, looking back at the bar over here, our close today was at 644.95, and the close yesterday was 644.89. That's a heck of a turnaround from this morning after such a horrible PPI report. If you're new to trading and you hadn't seen something like that before, that much red can certainly make you angry if you end up losing money. But if you continue to watch my videos, and even if you start to follow my trades, over time, you'll learn how to be patient. You'll learn how to accept the ups and downs of the market. So with that, I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your Thursday.